Welcome back to the Daily Poem here on the Close Reads Podcast Network. I'm David Kern. Today is April 28th, 2020. And I'm here with a very special guest. Tell everyone who you are.
I'm Coulter Kern, and
who are you?
I'm his son. He's my dad.
This is my son, Coulter Kern. He's going to help me do this poem today. And we have a book, I've read from it before. It's called the Folio Book of Children's Poetry. And so I asked Coulter to choose a poem from this that he really likes. And tell everyone which poem you chose.
The Tyger by William Blake.
That's right. And William Blake was an English poet who lived from 1757 to 1827. He was also a painter, quite famously, and he was a printmaker. And unfortunately, not a lot of people knew about him during his life. But after his death, he became much more popular and is considered one of the most prominent poets of the romantic poetry. So I'm going to read this poem first, and then Coulter and I are going to talk about it a little bit, and then I'm going to let him read it again to end the show. So here it is, The Tyger by William Blake. Tyger, Tyger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? What the hammer, what the chain? In what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil, what dread grasp dare its deadly terrors clasp? When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee? Tyger, Tyger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? So, Coulter, why did you want to talk about this poem?
I like the cats, like the big cat kind of creatures, like lions, tigers.
The predators?
Yeah, the predator cats. I like the way they stalk their prey in the forests of the night, like they say.
Oh, yeah. So it felt real, like you could imagine it.
Yeah. Like
Hobbes and Calvin and Hobbes?
Yeah. Because, in one of the strips, he does the first two lines of this poem. He says, "Tyger, Tyger, burning bright in the forests of the night," and then he says,
"Who's he? Hobbes?"
No, this
Calvin?
is so Calvin is standing over Hobbes, and while Hobbes is sleeping, and he's like, "Tyger, Tyger, burning bright in the forests of the night," and then he says, apparently Blake wrote that. Apparently the tiger was on fire or something, because burning bright.
Burning bright, yeah.
I also have heard that tigers are very patient predators. If you're chased by a tiger and you're up on a tree, it could take more than a day for it to leave. It would
just hang around.
Yeah, it would just hang around, sleep at the bottom of the tree if you're chased up. But they don't climb, but they will, yeah.
So do you think that the person who wrote this poem, or William Blake, when he was imagining this tiger, does this poem seem like he's scared of the tiger?
No, but not really.
What does it seem like his response to the tiger is?
That he might think it's a kind of slightly dangerous creature or something in that area. Mm-hmm. Violent-ish. Or the poem is slightly violent.
Mm. Where do you see violence in the poem?
The very fourth area where it says
fourth stanza. Why don't you read which part sounds violent to you?
Well, the very last one, there its deadly terrors clasp, and then there is up here there is
he's in the second stanza now.
The burnt the fire of thine eyes, on the wings dare he expire. Actually, the three bottom lines of the second stanza.
Burnt the fire of thine eyes, on what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? Yeah. Does this seem like a beautiful poem to you?
Actually, yeah. I said that some parts of it are violent, but some parts of it also seem slightly beautiful.
Like what? What's a line that seems beautiful to you?
Actually, the first and last stanza, the Tyger, Tyger, burning bright part, I think that it seems like sort of I don't know how to say it, like
Something, it seems like it's full of, like the poet is full of awe.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, so one of the things that I love about this poem is the way it kind of feels like a song. You know, like in the Lord of the Rings, where they would go on their journey and they'd be singing their songs, and the Tolkien wrote as poems. This poem kind of reminds me of that. Like it's got a kind of the cadence of a sort of historical song.
Now that you think
legend.
Yeah. Now that you talk about it, it actually does seem like a creature or a poem about a creature like
a dragon.
Or let's say a goblin or something.
Mythological.
Something mythological. Yeah. Or mythological.
Yeah.
But it, like you said, it also sounds. How did you?
Musical, kind of like a song. Mysterious.
Mysterious.
Oh yeah.
Or something legend-like.
Oh yeah. It kind of reminds me of like a chanting, like almost like people are going off to war and they're chanting or beating drums or something like that as they go.
Yeah, sort of.
Okay, do you have anything else you want to say about this poem before we read it one more time and we go for today?
Yeah, I was going to go get the Lord of the Rings book and read part of something that Gandalf says.
Can you just tell people about it for right now?
Well, yeah, it talks about... Most people who've read Lord of the Rings will probably have known about this. It talks about the ring, and it talks about how... Some of them.
One ring to rule them all.
Yeah, I was thinking when you said legendary and mysterious, that it made me think about that.
So this poem reminded you of the One Ring to Rule Them All poem from the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, like 5 for the Elven Kings under the something.
Oh yeah.
And
okay, here. Why don't we got to go for today because this is not a long podcast. But here, why don't you take the book and I'll let you take us out today by reading it. Don't read too fast. Read nice and carefully. So this again, one more time, is William Blake's The Tyger, and this is Coulter Kern reading it.
Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? On what hand dare seize the fire? And what shoulder and what arch could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? What the hammer, what the chain, in what furnace of thy brain? What the anvil, what dread grasp? There its deadly talon terrors clasp. When the stars threw down their spears, and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye did frame thy fearful symmetry? That was The Tyger by William Blake.
And this has been the Daily Poem. Thanks so much for listening. I'll be back tomorrow with another poem for you.